Said, love slots management so far. Transfer failures lies with Hughes and Edwards. I had such hopes with Edwards back. Completely messed up. So, here's the thing for me, Ryan, right? In this window, we didn't know the targets as fans, nor should we, quite frankly. But Zubamendi came out, and it didn't come out from the club briefing journalists. It came out because somebody figured it out, or somebody from the other side leaked it, and it became public. And when it became public, we then showed ourselves up to be naive, to say the least. But that's it. That's all we've known. We've never heard a concrete name at centre-back. Not once. We've never heard an alternative option at number 6, nor have we really heard about a forward. So whatever it is that they're doing in this transfer window, they're not doing it well enough. That's where I'm at. We've sold players, and on the face of it, you can argue they're good deals. To get £20 to £25 million for Sepp van den Berg, it's good business. It is. To get the money for Fabio Carvalho, it's good business. But to not reinvest and bring another centre-back in is embarrassing. I've also heard and seen a lot of hypocrisy in this transfer window. 1 minute, they're briefing that they want a defender who's going to come in, not expect to start every game, and be a future fixture at the club. A younger centre-back. Then, Lenny Yoro comes up, and all of a sudden, we don't want to pay him 140 grand a week, even though he could be at the club for 8-9 years. We walk away, and we again don't seem to have any alternative. And on top of that, we were told very clearly, the club were briefing to say that Yoro was one of these potentially opportunistic deals. That he wasn't in the club's vision and wasn't the centre-back that the club were looking for, but he came up and Liverpool would keep an eye on it. We were also told that if Real Madrid didn't sign, Liverpool would be there to capitalise. We did neither. We sat around and then we circle-jerked with Real Madrid thinking, oh, aren't we both so clever? We didn't pay for the kid. We didn't want to give him the money. Real Madrid didn't want to do it for a very clear and obvious reason. They've brought in a load of players and their wage bill is humongous. They've brought in Bellingham, Mbappe, Endrick. We, on the other hand, why didn't we sign the young centre-back that we very clearly need in the squad? Because we're tight and the owners are cheap. Now, even if he wasn't the target, the whole aspect of us waiting in the wings has once again proven to be absolute horseshit. Because we could have signed him. Real Madrid were unwilling to pay a fee. They wanted to get him for nothing. We had a chance. We didn't take it. We were lied to again. That is not up for debate in my mind. Then we don't have any centre-back targets that we know of in this window. Not one. You've seen every journalist under the sun talk about movement behind the scenes, talking with agents, expecting Liverpool to be busy, blah, blah, blah. But have you seen one of them name an actual player that we want? Nope. So for me, this is rinse repeat all over again. Manipulate and lie through the whole window. Get the journalists to keep the fans' hope high. When it doesn't happen, there'll be a reason, there'll be an excuse, and there will be a promise of more stuff down the line. I've never believed it. I'm never going to believe it. Actions speak louder than words. To quote themselves, FSG, under promise and over deliver. You've done fucking nothing. Where is the money, John? Sincerely, where is it? Because if the plan was always going to be that Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards wouldn't have had enough time to put their stamp on the transfer side of things, then say that. Don't manage fans' emotions by getting them all hyped up, believing there's going to be 2 or 3 signings and then feel let down when there's none. Be honest and say, we're probably going to be quiet in this window. If something pops up, we'll have a look at it, but they need more time. They need more time to put the backroom staff together, to run over the transfer lists and to get the deals in place. And I think most people would have at least understood the thought process. Might not have agreed with it, but would have understood where they were coming from. Right now, we just feel, well, I certainly just feel lied to and manipulated again. Ryan said lies, lies and more lies, both from FSG and journos. Be honest, we're not idiots. FSG need to get out. I'm done with transfer windows under them. I hope, I really, really hope that people keep track of what some journalists have said during this window. I really, really hope that they remember, because I've lost a lot of respect for some journalists. The top one being James Pearce. It's a simple thing, but I can't believe he wrote it. To hear James Pearce say that as it stands, Liverpool have no plans to sign a goalkeeper in this window, when everybody, and I assume he, knew very differently, I find that really difficult to take, because I have a lot of respect for James Pearce. He's always been a great journalist for fans. He's always been really open. He's always been approachable. But that is just an absolute lie. And I can't say otherwise with a clear conscience. And I say that from a place of immense respect for James. But that is bullshit. And to say it, write it, and think that people are going to believe it, that is appalling. On top of that, Romano has been talking absolute pony the whole window. Every single time I've seen a quote from that lad, it's been, Liverpool are working on it. Liverpool will be busy. Liverpool are talking with agents. Liverpool. What have we done? Absolutely nothing. But he's got another window where he's creamed in the money and absolutely manipulated the shit out of fans. It's up to you what journalists you have faith in. But for me these days, I don't know who's on the club side, who's parroting the club's opinions, but I do know that it doesn't smell right. It really does not smell right. And I'm fucking sick of it, quite frankly. I'm sick of our fans being manipulated by people that should know better. The people that are usually better than this. We're one injury away from being in trouble, said David Massett. And David, to move on from what you've said a bit, that in lies with the frustration that we're all feeling, because we've got 2 wins from 2. We like what we're seeing from Arna. We know that with those 1 or 2 additions, this team could be the real deal. And that only adds to the frustration. If we were 2 games in, a draw and a loss, looking wobbly, you would think, okay, maybe they just want to get a read of the team a bit more. But we're close. We know that we're going to have an injury or 2. We know that that's going to come down the line. And the answer is going to be, how do we solve the problem when it happens? And right now, unfortunately, we don't have the depth. We don't have the quality to come in and back up. And we also have to look to the future to see what does happen with Mohamed, with Virgil and with Trent. And they're going to have to be replaced as well. So kicking the can down the road means next month we need what? 5 or 6 world-class top-level signings? And we couldn't get 1 done in this window? That's where I think, David, a lot of people's frustrations come from. It's because they know with 1 or 2, we could win this league, or at least be a realistic contender. I've seen Arsenal and Man City's first 2 games. Not overly impressed with either of them. If that's me being honest, I've seen better versions of that Man City team. But while Haaland's fit, they're going to score goals. But will he stay the whole season fit? And will the 115 charges destabilise them a bit? I believe so. Arsenal, well, the pressure's mounting on them, because now there's an expectation. Mikel Arteta's done a fine job. They've done some good recruitment. They're building a very good team. They can win games in all kind of ways. And yes, sometimes they ride their luck like they did against Aston Villa. But they won. And that will carry on. But they have to win something. They have to. You can't invest the amount of money that's been invested there and not expect to be questioned if you don't deliver one of the big 2. So there's an opportunity there for us. And I just don't feel like we're walking through the door. I feel like we're sitting back and just watching. And that's why I'm frustrated. Because it's easy for an owner to write off a season and talk about the future. Because they're in it for the profit, the investment. Fans can't keep writing off seasons. How many seasons did we have to write off under Jurgen because of a lack of real transfer activity? How many more trophies might we have had under Jurgen if he had the squad depth? There's nothing more annoying as a fan than feeling like you're that close, and you're not seeing the support for the manager. And that's what makes it worse for me. If there was no hope, and we were like, if we were like United right now, I'd be like, probably not best to throw good money at bad at this point. But we're not. We've shown that Arna has something about him. We've shown that he will make difficult calls. We've shown that we can win. So give him what he needs and sit back and see what happens. But don't expect us to believe that we're going to replace Trent, Virgil, Mohamed and bring in signings in the next window or two, because that simply is not going to happen. Trevi85 said, you can't get better staying the same, go get talent. Absolutely. Look, mate, I think we'll all agree coaching can improve players. I think we all agree on that one. But you are right, and there's something to be said for continuity as well. Keeping a group together can be important. But every manager you'll have ever seen, Trevi, including Jurgen, said that 1 or 2 additions every year is good for morale, it's good for competition, it's just good to freshen things up. And if they knew they weren't going to be able to get the work done in this window, then that's what should have been briefed to journalists. That Liverpool aren't expecting to do much in this window. And yes, then you can talk about opportunism, but every single journalist has been told or briefed all the way through 3 signings. 3. Centre-back, midfield, forward. Everyone I know that has spoken to the club has always got the feeling that they're the 3 positions. And we've done nothing. We didn't even keep Sepp van den Berg as a potential 5th choice backup. The reason we have Nat Phillips still at the club became apparent to me the other day when somebody showed me that he was on £65,000 a week. Now, he's in the last year of his deal, and of course nobody's going to sign him when they'd have to give him that money, or the club would have to pay it out. So that is just a matter of time till his contract runs down. He isn't good enough to play for Liverpool long term. We all know that. So that's why he's still around. So let's not use him as the, well, he can be the 5th choice centre-back argument, because he's not good enough. You know it, I know it, he knows it. Now the Joe Gomez one, that surprised me the other day. I said to David Lynch, what do you think's going to happen? Expecting what I was thinking. Surely the club wouldn't be stupid enough to sell Joe Gomez. Well, I don't know as of right now what's happening with Joe Gomez. But I do know that I have no faith in us replacing Joe Gomez and adding another centre-back in one window when we've done nothing and there's 5 days to go. 5 days to go. I look at Joe Gomez as being like 1.5 players because of his versatility. So if you take him out of a defence, you're not just losing a centre-back. You're losing a left-back, a right-back and a centre-back. And experience and likeability. It's just not good enough. It has been a disgusting window. And I don't like being on here talking about this when we've won today. But we have to, because it's the end of the window. John's over. Hopefully he's over to try and get something going here. Because a couple of signings late in the window that we're all happy with would be a very good end to the window. But as of right now, we can't say with any confidence that we think it's going to happen.